Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Jam-packed third hour. Buckley Hammond joins us to break down from Chicago what's happening with the hidden microphones to get the public's response. Ebola news coming up in the next segment, your phone calls. I haven't gotten into UK's Prince William and Kate thrilled at second baby news and how that ties into the situation with the independence vote coming up in Scotland. We'll cover that as well. Right now, let's go right back to the calls. John in Ohio, you're on the air.
Hello, Alex. How you doing? I got right in front of me, Alex, a 1987 copy. Well, it was a dubbed copy, the 1987 miniseries America, about the Soviet communist takeover of America. And everything in this is straight up Barack Obama. There's a reason this has never been. It was a bootleg copy. There's a reason this has never been.
No, you're right. Chris Christopherson stars in it, and it's very hard to find. We ought to get a copy of that from listeners and do a review of it. You're right. If I remember that film, it's basically everything they did.
Yeah, and I'm in Ohio. Now, when I was in Texas, I got stopped by the Border Patrol for 30 minutes outside of El Paso. Got put in a cage with my car. It's got Ohio plates on it, and they're trying to ascertain my citizenship. It took a half hour at about 11 o'clock at night for them to
no, they wanted to know if you were bringing drugs across that the government didn't get a cut of. That's why they put you in a cage, brother. They were scanning your car.
But it's weird. That was in 1997. Now, in Ohio, where I'm at, people in Ohio go to Canada all the time. I never have. My father went to Canada with his semi-truck. Back then, you could just drive across the bridge and go in. And it's very weird. The town that's directly across from Cleveland's Port Stanley, Ontario. We're talking 2,000 people. Mayberry, RFD. It would be so pathetically easy to get terrorists in there. The only thing they might notice them is a lot of the terrorists tend to be of Middle Eastern or Pakistani origin. They would stick out maybe ethnically, but it would be very easy for the terrorists to sneak in there at night and load a boat. Everybody knows Lake Erie's wide open, especially over at Sandusky, Ohio. I know you've probably heard of Cedar Point Amusement Park.
Yes.
Cedar Point Amusement Park, there's a bunch of islands up from that, and it hops up to Pele Island, which is on the Canada side. You could literally island hop from Canada right into the United States with bombs. Nobody'd ever catch you.
And the reason I illustrate this, and the reason we harp on it, is don't have a random checkpoint saying we're looking for terrorists or TSA garbage or spy on my phone to see if I'm a terrorist. All you're doing is training me to be a slave and dominating me and breaking my will while the government is openly funding ISIS and hoping they attack us. And that's why I've said there could be a real attack, because ISIS is over 100,000, probably 200,000. They've got all these weapons. They've got billions of dollars. The British news is letting them fly back and forth because they're working for the globalist, just like pre-9/11. I just hope nothing happens the next few days. And if it does, we're going to be here pointing out we were wide open.
It's so ridiculous. Hello?
It is ridiculous. No, I agree with you. And it makes me very angry that look at how they used 9/11 to transform our world. And now, did it get rid of Al-Qaeda? No, it's bigger than it's ever been.
Don't understand it because it angers me because this lake's sitting right up there and everybody knows it, and everybody knows that Canada's immigration laws are basically zero. And even in this country, from 1787 until 1924, our borders were pretty much wide open. We've always known there was a problem, but the Democrats have, since Thomas Jefferson, had this idea that the whole world could come to America. And even though we had an Immigration Act of 1790, we never enforced it. And so even today we've been drunk on this idea that America is the homeland, the land of opportunity.
Well, listen, if you don't give people welfare, you're only going to get people coming here that want to work generally. You have free goodies, though. That, since the 30s, is what has screwed up immigration. Because if you tell people, come here and you don't have to work, Pretty soon you bring enough people in that are clients of the government that you got two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
In the near future. When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get controlled and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Well, Apple, headed up with Al Gore, has rolled out its iPhone 6 and its new iWatch. The iWatch surveils what exercises you're doing, what your heart rate is, reports it all back with GPS location. But it's so trendy and fun. And quite frankly, we could use these to shoot live video inside places that we're basically investigating. It's got a lot of good applications, but it was built at slave factories in China. Apple gives all this money to try to take my rights away, to undermine the Second Amendment. But if I go over and use Microsoft products, they're just as bad. So the new iWatch is out. The new iPhone 6 is out. And, oh, new iPhone 6, you purchase things with a thumbprint, and all these hundreds of big companies are online to do it. What happens when they start doing banker bail-ins and fines and fees on your digital currency? Because once everything's digital and they can force you through their systems, they can then track, surveil, and tax everything you do. And the power to tax is the power to destroy. Now remember, the technology is really 30 years advanced of what we're being given. So this has all been socially engineered, and Apple is the very cutting edge of beta testing, rolling this out to change our world. Has a lot of interesting applications. can have a lot of fun with it. Just like buying a new Chevrolet Camaro's fun, but it's got satellite tracker box in it, getting ready to tax you by the mile, and they made the announcement 2 weeks ago. All the cars have it. Your cell phone tracks you in real time illegally. All the new appliances track you in real time illegally. The smart meter outside your house that you paid for tracks you, controls your temperature. They're literally putting robots in, a Skynet, and making them ubiquitous in our world to control and track everything we do. And so we're here reviewing this new system. Talk about science fiction, this is it. And it just gets more and more amazing. People standing in line for 2 weeks to get their iPhone 6. People standing in line for 2 weeks to get the iWatch. And, of course, they come out with a limited amount to create that Christmas toy effect, where the toy that sells out, everybody's got to have. And, of course, it'll be laden with bugs. And, of course, I want one. See, that's what's so evil about it, is that it's so hard to not get sucked in by it. Because I can shoot live videos. I can take amazing photos. It makes it so much easier than having a phone in my pocket. On and on and on. But it's an evil social engineering company whose symbol is the apple being bitten. Who gave Eve the apple? El Diablo. Pretty amazing. And they're coming out with a smaller iPhone, a little mini iPhone, I guess, a middle-sized one. And then bigger ones. And then they've got, I guess the iPhone 6 is getting bigger now. I guess to try to challenge the droids and the rest of it. I don't know. It's just all out of control. Speaking of out of control, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go to this special report filed by John Bound today on the latest with the Ebola situation. Here is that report.
The World Health Organization, the very same organization that wants to impose a global consumer tax on everything from internet use to your bank account to raise money for its drug research in the developing world, is reporting total Ebola-fueled chaos in West Africa. Scientists have discovered that this new unique strain of Ebola may have originated during a funeral for a traditional healer in Sierra Leone, where two strains of Ebola may have coincided. Further research has traced the disease down to a 2-year-old boy that contracted the virus from a wild animal. The pandemic is ravaging Liberia the hardest, where entire families are packing themselves into taxis in a futile attempt to find Ebola care. The Ebola-laden taxis will only add fuel to the fire as they are not disinfected, and beds are in short supply to treat this contagion. Nearly 40% of new cases have occurred in the past 3 weeks. According to the World Health Organization, 3,600 have been infected with Ebola, 2,000 have died, and upwards of 20,000 will become victims of the outbreak before it's all over. But those numbers have been disputed by locals in West Africa for months. Last month, Dr. Gottlieb, former Director of Medical Policy Development for the Food and Drug Administration, asserted that Ebola is likely to arrive in the U.S., and that if it does, the CDC will invoke powers to hold a healthy person against their will. Dr. Gottlieb also points at an executive order passed by Obama on July 31st, which allows for the detention of Americans who merely display signs of any respiratory illness. We are already seeing a widespread respiratory mystery illness among children in the United States. It's only a matter of time. John Bound for Infowars.com.
That's right, and they say it's going to arrive here. They've flown 4 people into Atlanta, and they don't even have them in a proper bioweapons laboratory system. They have them in a university medical system. And now AP reports Ebola is surging in places it had been beaten back. Here's another headline, NBC News. 4th Ebola patient lands in Atlanta. Ebola virus spread by taxi passengers, says World Health Organization. Area of animal to human Ebola risk bigger than thought, AFP. U.S. Britain to send troops to help fight Ebola in West Africa. Here's the deal. It takes weeks now to show up, not days. So it has a lot longer to gestate, to get in your